Animation is useful because it can allow smaller creators and people who don't have access to a significant budget or resources to experiment with fictional, fantasy, science fiction, etc., etc., etc. Things that wouldn't really be possible in the real world. Of course, you could do those things in like a soundstage or a studio if you had the right budget and the right people and the right talent. But, you know, not everybody has access to like a giant blockbuster Hollywood kind of deal. Step one is basically just what you want to animate, whether that be a drawing, a model, a lump of clay, whatever. Now that we have what we want to animate, we need to understand how it moves and how we want it to move. For example, here's a sphere. Simple, plain shape, however when you move it, you'll notice it moves as a single unit, which means when you animate it, it'll all move together. You only gotta worry about one point. On the other hand, if you were to have something like a person, you have many points where things will move independent of each other, so you have to keep that in mind when you want to start animating. I treat animation the same way I treat video editing. You know, when you make a video, it is literally just a series of images that are played back at a certain frame rate, so it tricks your brain into thinking that it's a single moving picture. It's called critical flicker fusion, and the same thing applies to animation. You have one frame, and another frame. You have a simple sequence, and then you take those sequences and you start adding frames in between them until that critical flicker fusion starts and you see a moving single object. Animation isn't about getting everything perfectly smooth in a perfectly orderly line. It can be janky, it can be smooth. I personally like both. I think janky animation has its place with comedy, or if, you know, for an artistic style. Now that's not to say that smooth animation is a non-starter. I like doing smooth animation just because the shock factor, you know, you see these almost bizarrely realistic looking movements in something that isn't real. It kind of dips into the uncanny valley, so to say, where it's almost looks human-like, but you can tell that it's not quite human-like. So to summarize, there's only really 4 steps for animation the way I see it. You have what are you animating, how are you moving them, starting with the first and last frame, your key poses, and filling in the blanks. Anyways, that's animation, how to. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you can take some of these steps and make some beautiful creations of your own.